Hi, welcome back to High of All Trades. Today I want to show you how to upgrade a raised bed to make it more durable, give you earlier and bigger harvest, and to make it more versatile. And the best thing, it's almost for free. So stay tuned. You see here now the finished product of a previous video, a raised bed made from old pallets. So there are some leftover materials we want to use to upgrade it and some other additions you will see in that video. The first upgrade is, in my opinion, mandatory for a raised bed, as it will protect the wood, makes it more durable and saves you a lot of water. Basically you can use every kind of plastic sheet or even a garbage bag. However, my recommendation is dimple sheeting, as it guarantees a good ventilation between wood and the plastic sheet. To hold the dimple sheeting in place I used small nails. At the end I cut the overhang with a knife. You can still use the cutoff to close gaps. For this you should work with a 5-inch overlapping on either side of the gap. On the bottom you should use heavy-duty garden fleece, but an old bed linen will do the trick as well. There are tons of videos out there how to fill a raised bed, so I don't want to deepen that matter here. Okay, so as one of the upgrades for the raised bed, we built a frame to cover up the top part. That gives it a little bit more water resistance, and we do that with a little twist, so it's a double use of that part. We use the leftover parts from the pallets to build that frame, so nothing else to buy here. At first we have to salvage the material. For all the following steps it is very important to remove all the nails from the boards. The cover frame will be made from very short and small boards. To have a huge frame at the end, I decided to build it overlapping. The advantage of this kind of construction is that the corners of this frame are very stiff, and we need that. You will see that in a minute. Make sure that all the screws at the end are from the bottom side of the frame, so that you have a nice clean top. At the end I cleaned everything up with a planer and rounded the edges with a trim router. The next part's making this frame somewhat special. I installed 2 hinges between the frame and the body of the raised bed. But as the body just consists of thin boards from this reused pallet wood, I made 2 extra pieces to accommodate the hinges and to reinforce the structure, so that the screws that later on hold the hinges have a little bit more meat to grab in. And here now is the proof that humans are idiots, or at least I am. I know that screwing in this kind of wood without pre-drilling can cause cracks, but to save time. So yeah, and now I went to the workshop again, grabbed the glue, went back to the raised bed, and yeah, I got aware of the fact that I forgot the clamps and walked back to the workshop. And so on, so you all know that kind of sad stories. To make the long story short, learn from my band example and make sure that you pre-drill your holes and don't waste all the time as I did it. As the hinges now without any cracks are attached to the raised bed body, we now middling out the frame so that everything sits nicely even from every side, and then we screw it to the hinges. The last step before I unveil the function of our hinged frame mounted thingy thing on top of the raised bed is to screw two pieces of wood to the side, and you will see how it works, how the whole construction works in a minute. And here you have it. The secret is unveiled now. It is just a little improvised roof. The roof is very easy to set up. All you have to pay attention to are the corners to fold them in, that the walls are more or less airtight. And during the warm season or the warm part of the growing season, you just can store everything away. I need for the setup around about a minute and a half. And for the removal during, for example, during the day, some seconds. Nothing fancy, easy, very efficient and very versatile. Upgrade 3 is a very helpful one, as it guarantees you an earlier harvest. I think you will get what I did while watching the video. Is really no rocket science. This kind of heating you can also use for little greenhouses. So in my experience, this kind of heating will help for a greenhouse 4x4, 5x5 feet. But if you have a bigger one, you might probably need 2 or 3 of these heatings, and it really depends on the temperature outside. If it is very cold, take one more and you're good to go. So now here's how we set up the heating. At first we take the can with the closed bottom and these ventilation holes. We have to dig a hole that is big enough to fit for this can. The good thing about this hole is that the cold air in the raised bed will flow to the lowest point, that is here. And then you put a candle in here, and here the burn time is one of the important things. These little tea lights, they have a too short burn duration, so 4 hours is not enough. You need at least something from 10 to 6 that burns at least 8 hours, so that the cold period is covered. You light up the candle, and now you put that on top. So the hot air now, or the cold air, flows down here, get it heated up by the candle, and is rising up here. And you cover the whole thing with 1 or 2 old tiles, or even a brick, or whatever you like. So now you have a kind of thermal mass in here, and you have a ventilation system, and that makes sure that the whole raised bed stays above the 0 degrees. So that's everything you need for some cold days to protect your little plants, to protect the seeds from the negative degrees. So yeah, that's pretty much how it works. Easy. Here now the comparison between first a not heated raised bed and a heated raised bed, so you can see a huge difference in the size of the radish. Guys, this is pretty much everything from my side now. Pretty easy thing to do. If you liked that video, give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions, post a comment below. Feel free to subscribe to the channel, and I hope I see you soon. Happy crafting!